सेव किया था ना?
मैं सिर्फ इसलिए गया था क्योंकि उसने मुझे कॉल किया, that's it. But listen तो.
Save it for someone else.
जिंदगी में सेव करना जरूरी है, मगर जब बात पैसों की हो, सिर्फ सेविंग से काम नहीं चलेगा। इक्विटी म्यूचुअल फंड्स में इन्वेस्ट कीजिए और अपने सेविंग्स को आगे बढ़ने का मौका दीजिए।
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.
We have today with us an important document and in fact a whole bunch of data. This is the latest Pew Research on how the world views America and also President Joe Biden particularly. This is not a survey of the entire world. For example, large countries are excluded. China is excluded for obvious reasons. Russia is excluded again for obvious reasons. And there are many others. But 23 of the most important countries, also divided geographically across continents, have been surveyed. It's very important to note that India is included in these. India has been included in this survey for more than a decade now, or about a decade now. So there are also comparative resting points to see how India's attitude towards America and America's serving presidents have evolved over time. So we have all that data. So what we'll do is, I'll pick up some points from this report. It's a sizable report. I'll share a link with you. You can go over the entire report. In fact, a lot of the report is with graphics, so we have the benefit of being able to use those graphics. So thank you very much, Pew Research. You do marvelous graphics. Thank you for letting us use them as public data. Also, the second half of this document, which you will see in the link that I share with you, is actually methodology, the questionnaire, etc., etc. Just to let you know that this is done very scientifically. So what are the highlights of this survey? So the big highlights are that the views of President Biden and views of America in these 23 countries are by and large quite positive. But within that, look at some interesting factors. So look at your first graphic. This is the first graphic we are picking up for this episode of Clutter. This is on page 7 of the Pew report. Now this graphic is color-coded, kind of a heat map. This tells you which country has what kind of support level for the US and US policies. The darker, the better. If you see it carefully, you will see a clump of countries in the middle graphic. Those clump of countries in the middle which are numbered are European countries. They are too small to have their percentages mentioned there. So there is a table underneath that gives you the names of the countries. The darkest country of all, the darkest of all in the entire world, because in this chart, there are other continents. There is Africa to the right. There is Asia, or our part of Asia, America, Latin America, Southern America to the very left. If you look at this very carefully, the darkest country is number 7 in the middle chart. That is the Europe chart. That country is, no surprises, Poland, because Poland is the country next to Ukraine. Poland is also the staging post for a lot of the NATO activity in Ukraine. Poland is also a country that feels very insecure about Putin's expansionist plans or expansionist ideas. And Poland also historically has been a victim of warfare in Europe. It's been a victim of the Germans. It's been a victim of the Russians. So Poland is very wary. So Poland is the country in which America has the highest support. It's 93%. The important thing, however, is that the global median of support from America is quite high. In fact, of these 23 countries surveyed, only one country has a negative view on America. That is Hungary, next door to Poland. Again, funny situation. Both countries run by right-wing parties, right-wing populist parties. Both countries see the quality of democracy declining there, definitely by European standards. Hungary is a champion in that. It really is a sham democracy now. Poland, populist, but while in Poland, the support for America is very, very high. In Hungary, it is the lowest. In fact, of all the 23 countries surveyed, Hungary is the only country where support for America or belief in America is less than 50%. It's only 44%. Now, where does India feature? That's a very important fact. I could have started with that, but I thought that because we seem to be so interested in geopolitics right now and so much is playing out in that part of the world, Europe, that I should look at Poland and Hungary first. But if you look at India, once again, come to India on the map. India will be highlighted on the map. And remember, these are not maps that we have drawn. These are not maps, these are notional maps. They are not meant to indicate any country's boundaries. These are just to denote countries. So if you see India has 65% approval rating for America. 65%. That's very high. You want to make some comparisons? You see this 65% rating in India is higher than Australia, which is a member of Quad and AUKUS. Australia is 52%, India 65%, Australia 52%, UK 59%, right? Canada 57%, next door to America, North American neighbor. Together on everything, Five Eyes Alliance, all other alliances, again treaty-bound allies. Mexico 63%, Brazil 63%, Argentina 51% in Southern America, Italy 60%. Italy actually is the highest among European countries after Poland. All the others are in their 50s, barring Hungary, which is 44%. So you can see how high America's rating in India is. Then there are some countries you will see on the same map where America's support or support from America is higher than even in India. That is Kenya, 71%, Nigeria, 74%, South Korea, 79%, and then Japan, 73%, and no surprise at all, Israel at 87%. So if Israel is at 87%, Poland is at 93%, that puts the state of mind of Poland and the Polish population right now in perspective. But remember, once again, in India, the rating for America is very high. So when you look at all this anti-Americanism floating on Twitter, etc., see that in perspective, because this is what a very reputed and very scientific survey is telling us. Then you look at some other data. Again, come to the second figure. The second chart is on page 5 of the survey. This second chart shows you the approval ratings for Joe Biden as President of America. Again, a very interesting chart. If you look at this chart from page 5, this is our second chart. This chart shows you, first of all, the median views on America. So the average views on America, 59% is favorable, 30% is unfavorable. I suspect a lot of that comes from Hungary. Joking. Views on President Biden. 54% in the world express confidence in him. 39% show no confidence in him. Once again, he seems to be doing quite well on this count. Then we come to our next figure and look at these charts. These are fascinating because these are only looking at middle income countries where India also features. So there is Mexico, Brazil. India is in the company of Mexico, Brazil, Nigeria, Kenya, South Africa, Indonesia, Argentina, and India. Then you see, this will show you a comparison between Trump and Biden. How confidence levels in these countries have varied from Trump to Biden. So let's forget all the others. You can see those, and in any case, I'm sharing the entire survey with you. But come to India. So if you look at these 8 charts for 8 middle-income countries, they tell you how in each country, confidence in America has risen or confidence in America has declined depending on who the president was. So once again, one line denotes no confidence. The darker line denotes no confidence. The lighter line denotes high confidence, right? There you see, forget the other countries, but generally also if you see the other countries, the trend is about the same. That is from Bush through Obama through Biden. Confidence has increased. From Bush to Obama went up a little. Under Trump, it came down in most cases. Then it's gone up. But forget all the others. Look at India. In India, generally, confidence in America has been high. In Obama's time, it was 53%, went up to almost 74%. Surprise of surprises. Came down in Trump's time, right? Despite ab ki baar Trump Sarkar and despite all the great things that are supposed to have happened between India and Trump, and despite all the great popularity he's supposed to have enjoyed in India, the fact is that confidence in Trump's America was much lower than under Obama. Under Biden, it has caught up almost to the same level as the peak under Obama. That is the important part in this graphic. Then come to page 10, our next graphic. Now, this graphic talks about, the question is, Is US seen as interfering in other countries' affairs while also contributing to peace and stability? So interfere karta hai, it does interfere in other countries' affairs, but actually aids peace and stability. Now, surprising finding there. 50% say that yes, it interferes in other countries' affairs, but also contributes to peace and stability. That's a high ranking, and I will just show it to you. I'll just cut it for you country-wise, and there'll be some more surprises there. 32% say, yes, America does interfere in the affairs of other countries, but it does not contribute to peace and stability. So, on the positive side, again, America is doing better. Now you see another bunch of charts giving you some data. Sadly, India is not there because this question was not asked in India in the earlier surveys. So that's why comparisons are not there. But you have here 10 countries. And the question asked is, who do you see, which country do you see among China and US? Which country do you see as the leading economic power in the world? And if you look at these charts, in each case, invariably, in each case, China's rating as the leading economic power in the world is declining and America's has risen. Now, different countries' views on America, we had explained it to you with that map of the world, the heat map of the world early on. But see this chart again. This gives you data on each country, each of the 23 countries. Once again, you see which is high, which is low. You can see India is among the highest, 65% positive, 26% negative, only 26% negative. In fact, in Australia, which is a treaty-bound ally of the Americans, it's only 52% positive and 47% negative, which is quite a surprise. And Hungary, the usual suspect, 44% positive, 51% negative. And as we had told you earlier, overall, 59% positive and 30% negative. Now we come to another very interesting chart. This looks very confusing. So we will not go through all of it. Don't worry. We'll just focus on one little area. Come to India. When you come to India, see what is circled there for you and we'll highlight this for you. What is the highest point of America's popularity in India, right? That is 2014. 2014. Who was the president of America? It was the man who's right now very, very controversial. That is Barack Obama. So it was with Barack Obama as president in 2014 that America had its highest rating in India of 70%. Then under Trump, again completely counterintuitively, it came down. It came down from 70% to 49%. Then recovered in Trump's later years, maybe after his meetings with Narendra Modi, it went up to 60%, but now under Biden, it's gone up to 65% again. And I suspect after this summit meeting in Washington, if a survey is done, perhaps it would reach the same level of 70% as earlier under Obama. So come to this graphic. Once again, you don't have to, it looks very confusing, but you don't have to go into the details of it. This graphic tells you India's trust in US presidents. And once again, come to India and see the highest level. Highest level was 74%. So Indians at one point trusted an American president at the highest ever level. That's 74%. That is 2015. Who was the president at that time? Barack Obama, the man who's under such controversy right now and under such attack from the BJP, from the ministers in the Modi cabinet, etc., 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 being attacked on social media for raising those questions about Modi government's quote-unquote supposed treatment of the Muslim minority. That's what he talked about in his interview. But he had a rating of 74%, which is the highest for an American president. In fact, just after that, as Trump came in, 74% came down to 40%, then recovered a little bit with 56. I suppose again, this is 2019. So by that time, there are these meetings with Narendra Modi taking place. So Trump has benefited a little bit from that. So it's gone to 56, but 56 is still way below 74. So 74 drops to 58, then drops to 40. Then recovers to 56 in Trump's last year. And now it's gone up to 64 under Biden. So once again, a little bit counterintuitive, but also an important fact at this point. Now we come to our last couple of graphics. So this is on page 23 of the survey report. This is views on whether the US considers other countries' interests, right? Whether it is mindful of other countries' interests while working while taking its policy decisions or not? That's interesting. So 49% say yes, it takes other countries' interest in consideration. 50% say no. So it's a dead heat, but on margin, there is still a great deal of skepticism about America's intentions. Once again, you want to see India. India is among the countries with the highest trust level in America. 72% in India think that America looks at other countries' interests before taking its decisions. Only 23% are negative. If you look at other countries, America's rating in Israel is actually even higher than India. So Israel is higher than India. Israel is at 80%. India is at 72, bracketed with Kenya, which also has 72. But if you look at the rest of the world, even in Poland, where America otherwise has very high rating, it's the belief in Poland, the percentage of people believing that the Americans look at the other country's interest also while making their policy decisions is lower than in India. And once again, on page 24, from page 24, we take this graphic, which is again one of these confused dot, dash graphics. So don't go into everything, just come to India and we'll highlight a figure for you. That is India. Now, this question has not been asked in India ever since the survey started coming to India. But since it began getting asked, say in the Obama era, in 2013, this trust in America was 56%. Today, under Biden administration, it is 72%. So in so many ways, this is the golden age of India-US relations. About that, we have much other evidence, including this latest joint statement signed between our Prime Minister Narendra Modi and US President Joe Biden. But besides that, we also have the evidence of this survey now, which tells you that government policy is in alignment with the larger public opinion, as the previous government's policy also was. This opening up to America began more than 3 decades back. And when that started, there were a lot of doubts because Indians had been very skeptical about America for a very long time. But now it looks like that skepticism is yielding to trust as we are going along. Now, in the very beginning, we had given you the mean data on how these 23 countries believe, what is the public opinion on whether the US interferes in other countries' affairs and whether it's a good thing or a bad thing in the sense that this interference, does it lead to stability or instability? Now, if you look at does interfere or does not interfere, say India, you look at this chart, you see all the countries, India, 68% think that America interferes in other countries' affairs. There are other countries where a larger percentage believes so. Italy, 93%, Greece, 93%. These are all NATO allies of America. Canada, 86%, America's next door trusting neighbor. Sweden, 87%, applicant to NATO. France, 86%. UK, 84%. Hungary, 82%. If you look at all this, the 68% figure in India is relatively low. In fact, the only other countries where fewer people in the popular opinion believe that Americans interfere in other countries' affairs are Indonesia and South Africa. In each case, it is 63%. Remember, India is 68%, but most of America's allies think that Americans do much worse than that. Now, this interference, does it contribute to peace and stability around the world, or does it cause instability? That's again, look at this chart. It's on page 26. Very interesting chart. Again, if you look at India, 70% think, we just told you that Americans interfere. 70% think that this interference is for the good. They think that US contributes to peace and stability around the world. Again, Indians give America among the highest ratings on this count. 25% Indians say, no, this is negative. But if you look at America's allies, Australia, only 61% positive, 38% negative. And then you want to see really negative countries, Argentina, 59% negative. Hungary, usual suspect, 63% negative. Greece, 58% negative. Even Canada, 39% negative. So there is a lot of skepticism still remaining about this. But if you see the 23-country median, the Americans would think they are not doing so badly because 61% of the 23 countries polled think that while Americans interfere in other countries' affairs, this is a force for good. This contributes to peace and stability. 38% have a negative view. And as we have just shown you, a lot of those negative views come from America's own allies. Now, I know there'll be questions about how this survey was done, how many people were polled and all that. So I can do no better than quote from the survey itself, and you will see the explanation on your screen also. It's also available in the link that I've sent to you. A total of 27,285 adults were surveyed in many countries, that is Canada, France, Germany, Greece, Italy, Japan, the Netherlands, South Korea, Spain, Sweden, and the United Kingdom. And in many countries, the surveys were conducted over the phone. This includes Canada, France, Germany, Greece, Italy, Japan, the Netherlands, South Korea, Spain, Sweden, and United Kingdom. Face-to-face surveys were conducted in Hungary, Poland, India, Indonesia, Israel, Kenya, Nigeria, South Africa, Argentina, Brazil, and Mexico. Now, I know the question would be, by just polling 27,285 people in 23 countries, how can you arrive at these findings? That is the science of polling. Science of polling does not lie in polling a very large number of people. Then you will have to hold referendums in large countries. That is not possible. The science of polling lies in picking the right sample, asking the right questions, and then analyzing them dispassionately and also by applying scientific methods. Now, does it work? Does it not work? So polling organizations, survey organizations build their reputations over time. So if they keep on going wrong over time, they will lose their trust. So far as we know and as far as we can see, Pew has a pretty good record of credibility in this area.